Yay!
Ooh, that was our champagne cork pop.
Yeah, that was the champagne cork pop because on this podcast, we're not cork worthy, we're screw top worthy. We're a
Oh,
screw
yeah.
top podcast.
Heck yeah.
It just sounded like peeing. That was just so gross.
Happy 100, everybody.
Happy 100th episode. Ooh, the cheapest champagne money can buy.
How is it?
I've had this one before. I like the more like
Okay.
the drier stuff. I don't like the sweet. I don't like sweet anymore.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
The older I get, the more I'm like, I want like savory, not sweet. I don't know.
Interesting. Okay.
Mhm.
I'm still a sweet person.
You should. Yeah, you are a sweet person.
I mean,
you should always stay that way.
Look at you.
Stay golden, pony boy.
Stay golden. Hey, Wanderers, welcome back to another Foolish Wanderers podcast, the podcast about anything and everything. Today, we're celebrating our 100th episode, which is a huge milestone for us.
Huge milestone.
Huge. Yes, especially after like our multiple breaks for different circumstances, and now we've made it here.
They were good circumstances.
They were, yeah. Like, I'm not saying it's bad, but yeah.
You directed a play and like
Yeah.
did all this stuff. I don't know what the scenes and the props and whatnot.
Yeah, the scenery and props, yeah.
And then I just got married, and then that's what.
I just, got, married, just that little
I feel
thing.
like you put a lot more work into the play than I did into the wedding.
You have a planner for your wedding, or did you guys planned most of it, didn't you?
Yeah, but yeah.
Okay,
My sister-in-law, took the reins for that day, which I'm glad
But
because
still.
I'm not that kind of person.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of stress and research and everything. All right, so to celebrate our 100th episode, we've decided to do like a conglomeration. Is that how you say it? Conglomeration.
What's that? How do you spell that?
I don't know.
Wait, did you just make up a word?
No, I've heard it before.
All right, but it sounded, if it is made up, it sounded real.
Oh, thank you.
I'm just sipping on this. I feel like champagne is not the best thing to drink on a podcast because it is so carbonated. I feel like I'm just gonna be like burping.
Just add some punctuation.
Isn't that the worst when like people are like they're speaking to you and then all of a sudden they're like burping and they continue to speak, like they continue to say that word or like the sentence. They just like work through it, like they work through the burp.
I have not had that happen for quite a while, but yeah, it's gross.
It's on my list of like pet peeves. Like I just want to like rip throats.
Oh man, but yeah, conglomeration is a real word, and it means a number of different things, parts, or items that are grouped together in a collection.
All right,
which is what this episode is. The more you know.
Honestly, it's what all our episodes are. So
pretty much, yeah. Yep. The conglomeration podcast.
But like Foolish Wanderers is better.
Oh yeah, a lot easier to say.
I already feel a burp. Like it's already starting, and we're 4 minutes in.
Woo! Good timing. So today on the docket, we have first we're going to talk about "Am I the Asshole?"
From Reddit.
Reddit, heck yeah! Kendra found this. Some
the best
good
page.
Ones.
The best page on Reddit. Second best because Am I the Devil is better because it's just all the Am I the A-hole? Like you can it's like all the A-holes are on Am I the Devil.
Oh, that's funny. I have not seen that page, but that sounds funny.
The worst of the worst.
Oh, good. Okay. We'll have to do that sometime. And then we're going to have Kathew on for our second segment of Mandela Effects Part 2, where we're going to remake, kind of, in a way, our first episode on Mandela Effects. And then we'll round out with a Cryptid.
Woo!
The Batsquatch.
Batsquatch?
Batsquatch. It sounds basically like it sounds.
Bat crotch?
No. But can you think of the two things put together, Kendra? The Batsquatch.
Yeah, it's just like Batman and Sasquatch.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Yep. It's a Sasquatch with wings. But
where's Rachel?
Rachel.
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 Rachel! That's what the Sasquatch says. That's like his calling. That's like his
It's just
mating call. Rachel!
Rachel! He also got born from a volcano, so look
That's
into that.
cool. Is he
It's
like a
pretty cool.
Hawaiian like god or something?
No, it's from Mount St. Helen. So yeah, we'll get into that.
Wait, is he like Mount St. Helen, like remember when it like exploded? Like the top blew off in
Yep,
like
that's
the
one.
80s or whatever? Is
Yep,
that like his
that's where
birthday?
it's from. Yeah. He was born.
Oh, he was born of a natural disaster. That's great.
Yes. Yeah. It's pretty great. It's a pretty good story. So we'll get into that later.
Okay.
Stick around. So we start with some Am I the A-hole?
Yes, we shall. I feel like this
Okay.
one's kind of a Debbie Downer, so I have
Aw.
I have one after this, like a little teeny tiny little
Okay.
thing that went popular on TikTok a few weeks ago
Okay.
for
Oh, I
financial
have another
advice.
TikTok thing that we could talk about for like an hour.
I'm sure
Oh.
we do. Okay, so this is it. All right, here. Am I the a-hole for not thinking the joke my family played on my girlfriend was a big deal? So here we go. I, a 25-year-old male, have a girlfriend who's 23, who is absolutely beautiful, but she does have a large facial scar. My family often jokes about it. They have a super dark sense of humor. It bothers my girlfriend, and she says it doesn't feel like a joke. It feels like she's being insulted under the pretense of it being dark humor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even though I explain it's just how they are and they don't mean any harm, she doesn't really want to be around them.
Yeah, I don't blame her, honestly.
I told her it was really important to me. We spend Christmas with my family. We would all quarantine first. So this was during COVID.
Okay, gotcha.
And test, but it was important to me. She resisted at first, but after some urging from me, she gave in. She said I absolutely could not excuse their behavior if they made a rude comment about her, though. Which is, like, sad.
It is really sad, especially at Christmas, and you're like, that's the one thing.
And you're the outsider, like, going to
Yeah.
your significant other's family. Yeah.
Mhm.
You're already, like, you know.
On edge.
On edge, yeah. So that's just, already this is sad.
No.
Okay, so we got there and it was fine for a while. Then my mom and sister broke out their matching ugly sweaters that had my girlfriend's face all over it.
Oh, yeah, not good.
So they both laughed, saying my mom made them, screen printed. Okay, I don't, like, side note, I don't know why you have to say that it's screen printed. Like, did she make them? Like, she screen printed them herself?
It's like a flex. And my mom did this, heck yeah. Like, that makes it worse.
That makes it worse! This chick,
so
like,
much worse.
this chick, like, DIY'd bullying. Like, she...
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Okay.
She did.
Okay, so, and it was just a joke. My dad thought it was hilarious. I even chuckled a little because she's really beautiful, so it was ironic they put her on the ugly sweater. My girlfriend looked at me, and when I said they were just being ironic, she shook her head, got up, and left. Didn't say anything to anyone, just took her car and left. I called her several times, and she didn't answer. The only text I received was, "You need to find your own way home." That pissed me off, and I called her a couple more times. The whole time my mom is upset because it was just a joke and she didn't realize my girlfriend was going to overreact like that. I told her that a warning would have been nice, but my sister agreed it was just a joke and my girlfriend was being a baby about it.
Woof.
Okay, so I had another fight with my girlfriend when I finally got home, and she said I was an asshole for putting her in that situation. And I said I didn't realize that they were going to do that, and they were being ironic because she was beautiful. She said I let them treat her badly and was trying to make it her fault when it was my fault, when it was my family who was acting badly. I said it was just a joke and that she was overreacting. She asked how it's supposed to be a joke. I said it was just their sense of humor. Okay, that's like, yeah, that's like bad if you're like, if she asks like a genuine, like, yeah, why is it funny? Oh, it's just their sense of humor.
Like,
well, that means funny. That you don't find it funny either, and it's not, and you know it's bad.
Yeah, exactly. You just make an excuse for your family.
Okay, so back to the thing. I said I was sorry she was offended by the joke, but she ruined the whole day with her reaction. She said that no, them realizing she wasn't going to take their BS anymore ruined the day. We aren't we aren't speaking currently, but when a cousin called to wish me a Merry Christmas and asked how the day went, I mentioned what happened, and he straight up called me an asshole for doing that to her. I don't really think I've done anything, though. I didn't know they were going to do that, and it was just a joke, and I think she's overreacting. Am I really the a-hole here?
Yeah.
Massive.
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 Good on your cousin for calling you out. Like, that takes guts to call your family an asshole, too.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, absolutely. You knew that she was uncomfortable going into the situation, and yet when it happened, you said nothing. You just kind of shrugged it off because you didn't want to upset your family. Like, that's not okay.
And your family's making fun of, like, something she can't help. A facial scar?
Yeah, like, very obviously, too.
Yes! That's like how... That's like the Lion King, how Scar's name is Scar because he has a scar on his face. That's
literally,
yeah. It's just like making... Yeah, it's like, because somebody, like me, is someone that's, like, has, like, acne scars and stuff like that. Like, I'm super self-conscious about it.
No.
So, like, if someone made fun of me for that, I would cry.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Yeah, so it's like she's obviously probably, unfortunately, self-conscious about having a facial scar like that, and then your family makes fun of her.
Like, constantly. And
constantly. And, like, they say they can just sweep it under the rug as being like, oh, it's just a joke.
Like, that's...
It's
it's
rude.
not a joke. That's when jokes go too far and it's not a joke anymore.
And it's your responsibility to freaking defend your girlfriend.
Exactly.
So, a-hole.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And you allow your family to do that. You're supposed to just support your girlfriend. You two should just break up. That's just like my...
Yeah, I agree.
My thing.
Yeah, she deserves better.
Yeah, if you can't... Yeah, if you can't, like, take her side on something like this, you know, like, this issue's just gonna keep happening if you're together. Like, it's obvious that, you know, you're siding with your family. You're not siding with her.
Yeah.
So, break up.
It's like a court gavel. Chunk. Break up.
Break up. We need, like, a Judge Judy, like, button to be like, a-hole.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, what a jerk.
Oh, man.
It's like if...
What a great start to the episode, Kendra.
I know, that's why... I'm sorry. Happy 100th episode, everybody! Woo! Okay, so this other one I've got... this went viral, like... When was it? Like, a few weeks ago. It's on, this, popular, it's, like... financial advice, like, on Sirius XM, like, show. It's the Dave Ramsey show. Mr. Kendra knows about this guy. He doesn't like him.
Okay.
For reasons. Something with, like, a timeshare scam thing that's happening, that's in court right now. Whatever. Don't know. Alleged. No one sue me. But, yeah, so this, so he gives out financial advice, and this couple is, like, 30 years old, and they are $1 million in debt.
Oof.
$1 million.
How do you get that far in debt by 30?
The lady that called in said, like, it was mostly school loans, like student loans.
Oh, wow.
Because they have advanced degrees. So
okay, I can see that then.
Yeah. So this is... Here we go.
$1 million in debt, and we want to know how to get debt free without filing bankruptcy.
Wait, is there a commercial? Do you hear that?
Yeah, I do.
I really... You know, like, these pages that I'm talking about where, like, you'll go on something? What is this?
It's a random song.
How many things are playing right now? Do you hear this?
I do.
Where even is this commercial that's playing right now?
This will just be the whole episode, Kendra trying to find where the song comes from.
We have probably
where is this?
Under $1 million
is this the chick?
In debt, and we want to know how to get debt free without filing bankruptcy.
Okay, how much of that is a mortgage?
The mortgage about $210,000.
So you have $600,000 in what?
$335,000 is about in student loans. We both have advanced degrees, and then the rest is really credit cards and personal loans.
Oh my god. That wasn't... Where's Blake?
Oh no, oh no.
Oh my god.
It's a
I just
mess.
need to get a TikTok. You know how hard this is?
Do you want me to find a TikTok for you?
Yes.
Okay, what's his name again?
It's Dave Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how long ago he posted this. It's
Here you go.
Under $1 million in
yeah, so this is she called in.
probably just under $1 million in debt, and we want to know how to get debt free without filing bankruptcy.
Okay, how much of that is a mortgage?
The mortgage about $210.
So you have $600,000 in what?
$335 is about in student loans. We both have advanced degrees, and then a lot. The rest is really credit cards and personal loans.
So you have $300,000 of credit cards and personal loans?
We have about 335,000 student loans and about 136,000 in credit cards, 44,000 personal loans, and 35,000 car loans.
Oh my god.
Okay.
What are you doing?
How old are you?
I'm 29.
Okay. So what in the world?
Yeah.
I mean, are you both on this, or is this just one of you that's completely lost your mind?
Well, I have the majority of the student loans, and he has the majority of the credit cards. My credit card debt is not great.
Okay,
it's
so
about
why
$11,000.
is he at 29 years old run up $100,000 in credit card debt?
Well, he's 32, but
He's 32.
I think it's one of those things where just making really is.
Oh no, hold on.
There's a part 2, I think. 32.
32, but I think it's one of those things where just making really poor financial decisions, thinking be able to pay it down as you go, and then it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And
okay, so you both have advanced degrees. What are your degrees in?
we do. So I have a degree in both of our advanced degrees. No, he has.
I'm sorry. I just go pause it real quick. If she says finance, I'm gonna lose it.
I'm gonna flip this table.
Okay,
She's like, it's finance, economics.
no,
No,
you failed.
You failed.
You failed.
Okay,
let's-
yesterday we went to like Culver's. So if you don't know
Oh,
Culver's
I
is,
love Culver's.
it's like the Midwest version of like In-N-Out Burger.
It's so good.
It's so good. It was like $23. Okay.
Okay.
And I was in the back of my mind like, oh, that's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
This chick's got like over $100,000 in credit card loans and debt.
I can't handle like even a couple $100 being on my credit card. Like
I won't be able to sleep at night now because of this. How does she
more
sleep?
financial insecurity.
How does this chick sleep? Oh, okay. Continue.
Okay. Let's see what their degrees are.
An MBA, and I have an advanced degree in policy. I work in the government, and we actually both do now at this point. Actually,
Government jobs. Okay.
Okay, so your household income is what?
our household income is about $230.
Okay. All right.
That's a lot. It's pretty nice.
Is there recognition on both of your parts how absurd this situation is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there is.
All right.
So I think we're both a bit scared and want to do anything we can to avoid.
Okay, great. Then I'm on your team. I can skip that step. Okay, good. Okay, well, you're scared, and you should be. You're disgusted, and you should be.
We are.
You're in the early stages of being sick and tired, and you should be. So
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to destroy your life as you know it. Because your lifestyle is considerably above your extremely good income.
Well, yeah.
And so you've gotten used to spending like you're in Congress.
Right.
This is going to be very emotional for y'all because you're not going to spend any money on anything ever for the next 3 years.
You're gonna live off of bone broth.
So that was part 1.
The Gwyneth Paltrow diet. Bone broth.
Probably. But like, what are you doing? Are you going on cruises every week?
It sounds like they're just obviously they make combined over $200,000, and it sounds like they're just spending double that.
Yeah, like how does that happen?
It
obviously happened, but
it happened. I know. How does that happen? They want nice cars. They want nice trips. They want a nice place to live. They want to go out every single day and eat at the nicest restaurants. And then this is what has happened. And they took out all these personal loans and So doesn't everyone feel good about themselves now?
Oh, great. Yay, my student loans don't sound too bad right now.
Yep.
Oh, man. As you're sipping on your cheap wine. Your cheap champagne.
Yep. Cheap champagne.
Champagne.
I like these little bottles.
Yeah, they're cute.
They're cute, because then you can just drink the one. And you don't have to, because if you open up a bottle of champagne, then it will go flat.
Yeah, fair.
It's just, it's like the little ones are cute.
All right, so now we're going to switch into our next segment, our redo of Mandela Effects, with our special guest, Kathew.
Redo?
Woo!
Woo!
Yeah, we're revisiting, since it's our 100th episode, we're revisiting our first episode.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so...
She's a little bit late to the party. She just joined our call, so she's a little bit behind.
I'm not tuned in.
Yep, and if you don't know who Kathew is, Kathew joins us for every 25 episodes as our special guest from, So she's one of our very best friends from college.
Yeah.
Yay! That's been like 4 years ago now.
Oh, don't say that.
4 years ago from graduation.
Why are you trying to make me go into a depression hole?
Because I need you to join me.
She's alone in the hole now.
Oh. Well, that was very sad.
Yeah, it's all right though. That's the way.
Take a swig of your pills. Oh, that means Pilsner. That doesn't mean pills, everybody. That just means Pilsner.
She has a beer, right?
Yeah, it's beer.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a light beer.
See, you can't say take a swig of pills, Kathew. You have to say Pilsner.
I have no idea what that means. So
it's just a type of beer.
Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
a light beer.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'm not up on all the beer trends. I know what an IPA is somewhat, so I know that much.
Yeah. I can't have it anymore. I miss it. So
I know.
Cider's good. Cider's good and all, but I mean, it feels like I'm an adult drinking like an apple juice.
Fair.
It's fun though.
It is fun. I just wish it was in a juice box with a straw.
I think they make that actually.
Oh gosh.
All right, should we get into the Mandela Effects?
Yes.
All right, so before we begin, actually with examples, I'm going to go over some of the history of Mandela Effects and why they are what they are. So basically, the term Mandela Effect originated in 2009, so pretty recently, actually.
Not really.
It's
but
that's over 2 decades ago.
Yeah. No, it's not 2 decades, Kathew.
It's not that.
It's like a decade and some change.
Yeah.
But that's a long time ago.
Yeah. Okay. Well, back in 2009, Fiona Brome discovered that she wasn't the only person to have a false memory of the South African president Nelson Mandela's death. So, do you guys remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison or no?
I don't remember most things, so.
Well, okay.
Pilsner.
Hearing about it.
No, he died outside of prison.
Okay, so when we first, I'm pretty sure if we go back to the very first episode, you and I both thought that he died in prison, Kendra. See, I'm pretty sure we both
Can
thought
I just say my whole life is a Mandela effect?
Probably is, honestly. It very well could be.
Because
you just forget everything.
I just forget everything. Yeah. I don't know what I ate yesterday.
I'm not the only one.
You're with Kathew.
Yeah.
Okay.
Join me.
So Fiona, along with hundreds of others, remembered Nelson Mandela dying in prison on Robben Island in Cape Town, when in fact he very much lived until December 5th, 2013. Some even remember his funeral and his widow giving a speech. So some people have very vivid memories of him dying and having this huge funeral and it televised, just this big celebration of him. Yeah, it's really weird. So Brome started a website to record other examples of Mandela Effect experiences, and has gone to publish a book about it. So the phenomenon called the Mandela Effect is called the Mandela Effect because the first time someone noticed this error in collective memory, so as a group of people remember something different than it actually is, it had to do with Nelson Mandela. So that's why we get the term Mandela Effect.
Mm-hmm.
So according to the American Psychological Association, a false memory is a distorted recollection of an event, or most severely, recollection of an event that never actually happened. So we're kind of going to go into the difference between false memories and Mandela effects, because those two things are for some reason are intertwined. But Brome, she's very adamant that Mandela effects are not false memories, and she makes this very clear in her writings. Mm-hmm. So false memory is if you think of something and it's wrong, that's like a false memory. So like if you like heard like, oh, this person, you know, fell down a well one day and in fact they didn't, or like if like you thought, oh, this person wore this color shirt today but they wore like purple instead of pink or something like that, like that's a false memory. Something else can change your mind. But a Mandela effect is a phenomenon where a widespread memory, so like multiple people believe they saw something or heard something that's been changed. So like Nelson Mandela dying, hundreds of people thought he died in prison, but in fact he lived until like 2013. So a false memory is like one person remembers something wrong or gets weird information and remembers it differently, and a Mandela effect is like a whole group of people believe something and then it's not true.
Okay, I just have the false memories.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, I have conversations with people all the time, and then I go like, remember when I said this? And they go, no, we never had that conversation. I went, yes, we did.
Yeah, that's a good example, yeah. So there are a few ways we can experience false memories, according to Fiona. She says like faulty news reportings, jokes taken seriously, exaggerated statements or claims, or even some scientists call the term of the telephone effect, like where things get very distorted down the line, basically.
Fun game.
It is a fun game, yeah.
But then that one kid always like messes it up and is just like being a little, you know, poop, and then he'd just like say the completely wrong thing.
Yep.
I know.
Are you agreeing, Kathew?
I don't know, she's making like groaning noises.
I just read little noises. Okay. Glad you're on, Kathew. Okay. All right. So at first, Fiona hoped others would offer some sort of explanation for her memories of Nelson Mandela's death and funeral in the 1980s. But she started to notice that not only herself, but many others remembered things from recorded history, like as a whole, that seemed to have changed. She then coined the term Mandela Effect and started to dive into research. So she started like picking up like people remembered, you know, like names of brands would be spelled differently and people remembered them. We'll go into like a bunch of examples.
Yeah.
Isn't the is it the Berenstein or Berenstain? Isn't that one?
Yeah, that's our first example.
Oh,
So good
Sorry.
job. You're good. Let's see. So she goes on to say that Mandela effects could be the result of multiple worlds or even parallel universes colliding. So
Ooh.
yeah, so it goes on a whole wormhole, and I don't know if I want to go that deep into it. We can if we want to, but that's a lot of research. So these seemingly wrong memories, according to the Mandela effect, are in fact memories acquired by mistake of some such parallel dimension. Others believe that Mandela effects demonstrate that we live in a simulated reality created by a higher intelligence, kind of like in the Matrix, like things glitch, like we're in the Matrix.
That's gonna send me into a deep dark hole.
Okay,
No.
just forget that.
No.
Yeah, but there's been a lot of things too where I could do a whole nother podcast about just breaking the Matrix and people seeing things. Like there's been TikToks, I don't know if they're real or not, but like of people filming planes just hovering in midair. And
That's a parallaxing effect.
What?
It's a
explain, please, Kathew.
parallax effect. Because if they're in cars, they're moving and the plane is moving. So you remember how you were a kid and you'd watch the moon follow you in the car?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a similar effect. So yeah. Yes, it still follows us.
Oh, that
I want to see if I can find it, because
debunked.
one of the ones I found was somebody literally outside of their car just watching this plane hover. So it's like close to the ground.
See, I don't believe a lot of stuff I see on the internet anyway these days because of how good technology is. I mean, my job is to make things look not real, right?
Yeah.
Fair.
With all the video editing and image editing, I mean, you can't even believe that people look the way they look on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
true.
AI.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. don't get me
Have you
started on
listened
that.
like AI right now? Like I'm listening to, so like they make AI music. So that there's a AI song that has Drake and The Weeknd,
Okay.
and it's actually not bad. There's like a bunch of AI music of Drake coming out.
Well, that's the problem.
It is, but like I don't like Drake that much.
Yeah, he's
fine.
So I think it's funny that this music is coming out and it's like better than a lot of the stuff that like he's had.
Yeah, that's a conundrum.
regardless of whether you like the person. That's the bad thing, is that eliminating the human factor.
Yeah.
It the new song was like the perfect Drake song because it did have like the touch of cringe that are in Drake songs.
Okay.
Yeah, so like it had the touch of cringe. So it sounded real. It was crazy.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
It's scary.
I don't like it.
All right, should we get into some examples of the Mandela effects?
Yes.
All right, awesome. So the first one we have is the Berenstain Bears, which I think I touched on in the first episode. So some of these will be, again, like repeats from the first episode, revisited, but I did find some new ones. So the Berenstain Bears, one of the most prevalent book series from my childhood and probably many others, was about a lovable bear family who lived in a tree and taught us lessons like the importance of kindness, but their name was a part of a huge Mandela Effect conspiracy. So how do you think it's spelled?
It's Steen.
Yeah, Steen.
Steen, S-T-E-I-N.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, otherwise the other version is S-T-A-I-N. So actually in our world, if you Google it, it's S-T-A-I-N.
So this is my theory.
It's stain?
It's stain.
With book
like
printing.
A poop stain?
Yeah. Good conclusion, Kendra, yeah.
My theory is this. With book printings, there's always, misprints, right? What if
Yes.
a large group of people were the people to receive misprints?
But they changed an A to an E?
I
don't know.
Mistakes
It's
happen.
possible.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it is stain.
Just
What in the
stain.
devil? I think people changed it to, I think in like their heads, like they know somebody that has like a steen at the end,
Maybe,
Sounds
yeah.
more
of
natural.
their name. Yeah, so it's more like human, more natural, like they've heard it.
Well, you
so
hear
then
it in
they
other
change
words
that.
too, where it starts to blend and you say things a certain way, but then people are like, oh wait, how do you spell that? And then you spell it out and it's like, okay, technically, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Like my name, a lot of people will say my name, Katie, with a D sound, Katie.
KD.
But it's spelled with a T, it's
KT.
KT. But how many people are going to say KT?
True.
Yeah.
Or like phrases, like it's dog eat dog world.
Yeah.
And then like on that TV show Modern Family, like they do
Yeah,
that and they make
Glory.
fun. And she's like, it's a dog eat dog world.
Doggy
Like
dog
dog
world,
eat
yeah.
dog world. Like
Mhm.
what do you mean dog eat dog world? What's that even mean? So it's not like
Yeah.
that. Mm-hmm.
I think it's the human error.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this one, there's actually proof though too with different books. There's pictures of so most of the books are Stain, S-T-A-I-N. But there is like some copies, and the one that I remember seeing as a kid had S-T-E-I-N, and then even there's a it could be a misprint, but there is also
It's like in cursive though, like who is changing the E to
Who's
the
messing
A
up
to
this
the
bad?
E? Some a-hole was like, let's just have
Just mess it up for these kids.
It's like the Batman quote where it's like, some people don't want jewels and money. Some people just want to watch the world burn. And that person who wants to watch the world burn worked at that children's book printing shop.
There is too an old TV guide that's spelled S-T-E-I-N. So if it's a misprint, it could be, but it's also spelled the wrong way. So I mean, who knows? Maybe it changed.
It changed.
Okay, so the next one is for Kendra, and we're gonna see if you remember this one from the last podcast.
You mean the first one?
Yeah, the first
99 episodes ago?
Yeah. Okay, so Forrest Gump might have been one of Tom Hanks's most memorable roles, with one of the most misremembered lines. Most longtime fans of the film remember Forrest Gump stating a phrase that his mama told him. Which one is it? Life was like a box of chocolates, or life is like a box of chocolates?
It is.
What do you think, Kathew?
Well, I guess I'll say the opposite, just for heck's sake.
Yeah, Kathew's right.
What
it was.
the?
If you watch, I have a clip. There's a clip. If you look it up on YouTube, it
could be AI.
Yeah,
No
so
way.
it was like a box of chocolates, and people were upset because it's so sad. Because it means that that's what his mom was saying when she was dying, or like towards the end of her life. But there is like copies of old VHS tapes that do say life is like a box of chocolates, but in the actual movie it says was.
What?
So
when his mom's on the deathbed and she says life was like a box of chocolates?
Must have, yeah.
No way.
That's a conundrum for Kendra.
I don't believe it.
I like that you already did this one, and Kendra's being re-surprised.
Yeah, I'm telling you, she's
I don't remember anything from like the first like 80 episodes. Bro.
Life is a box of chocolates for
There's no like in there.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Well,
it's closer to.
Wait, no, play out that rest of that clip. Listen to what he says after that.
It doesn't matter. She says it.
It's about him, what he says.
Oh, so it's what he says now?
Yeah.
But what you say in there is his mom.
Yeah. Well, no, this is what he says, not his mom.
If you're retelling something that happened, you're going to use the past tense.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay, let's clip play again. You gotta hear it.
She had got the cancer.
Oh, I don't want to hear this.
I bought her a new hat.
This is sad. He doesn't say it in this scene. He says it in the beginning of the movie. Now I gotta look that up too. Okay. Fine. I'll play the proof.
Okay.
I'll play the evidence.
The evidence.
Yep. This is from the Forrest Gump movie. Here we go.
Like a box of chocolates.
Oh, shoot.
Like a box of chocolate.
He says, yeah. Okay, wait. I gotta rewind it. All right.
Now, half of these. My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
So it probably is just misremembering if his mom does say is.
Yeah, because she says is.
She says was. And he says was. So I think, like, everybody's right.
Yeah, I think in that situation, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Am I gonna flip a table on this one?
I hope not. This is about underwear, so.
Oh, probably not.
Alright, so this one is the Fruit of the Loom logo. And this one still blows my mind because as a kid, growing up, I remember Fruit of the Loom having... So there's two logo options.
Yes.
One has a cornucopia and one does not. Which one is the correct one?
They had the cornucopia in
the past.
See, they say they never had it.
That's a lie.
It was a brand update.
Yeah,
yes.
That's what I think too, because I remember that cornucopia. Yep.
Yes.
What are they gonna say now that they didn't have those commercials of the weird grown men in the fruit costumes?
That was weird. Yeah. They might deny that too.
Do you remember those?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always thought they were really strange.
So they're saying that they never had the cornucopia?
Yeah, there's there's people saying there's no, I'm trying to find the one from the actual company, but from their time history, the timeline of their logos, none of them have ever had a cornucopia.
Well, they can edit those.
Yes.
Fair, yeah.
It's like companies can control the narrative. It's like what's happening right now with the New York Yankees. Okay? So this year they claim that they're celebrating their 100th year anniversary of being at Yankee Stadium. Okay? They even have a special patch, custom logo added to their jerseys and whatnot. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They even did on their Instagram page a photo of Yankee Stadium when it was first opened, and they split it in half, and they have a picture of it now in 2023.
Okay.
The only issue is the original Yankee Stadium was bulldozed to the ground in 2009, and they built a new one. So
why are they trying to make it sound like there's 100 years there?
There you go.
Did they build it in the same spot?
Nope. The original spot, they're at home plate where Yogi Berra and Babe Ruth would stand. There is a home plate, but it is a park.
Have they just existed for 100 years? Is that what they're celebrating?
No, it's they're celebrating their stadium's 100th birthday. And it's crazy because they're like Fenway Park is the original home and still is standing for the Boston Red Sox, and Wrigley Field for the Chicago Cubs.
Mm-hmm. Companies just dictating what is.
Yeah, they're gaslighting everyone. And Fruit of the Loom is gaslighting everyone with this cornucopia.
Yeah. I agree. Yes, they are.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next.
It's a weird thing to wanna
just to make money, right?
I don't know. I think if they're trying to control that, I feel like it's more of a talking point to get people talking about Fruit of the Loom. I don't think it's a money-making thing. I think it's just kind of
strategic.
Yeah, talk about us again. Make us popular.
Yeah.
I will. I'll flip this table right now. It was cornucopia.
Okay.
There was a cornucopia at the ass. Okay. You know, the label.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
Okay. I missed your point there for a second.
I know. I missed my point too. Whatever. There was a cornucopia with the fruit that was always on my butt crack.
Yeah.
But then one day it left.
Do you have an old pair?
Do you actually?
Okay, I know that in the past I have come to both of you with underwear and I say, when should I get rid of if I have holes in my underwear, when should I get rid of them? And you say, If you have to ask me now, I know that I did that in the past, but I don't do that anymore.
I don't remember that happening. But
I think it was just maybe I asked just Kathew.
It might have been just Kathew, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I slept 3 feet away from her.
Yeah, and then Kathew was like, "If you have to ask me, it's time to get ready."
Yeah.
If they have a hole, they should go.
Yeah. So no, I do not have an old pair.
Okay, fair enough.
I wish I did for this.
I know.
That'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we're getting into E.T., a topic we've talked about every few episodes.
I think the last episode I said I wanted to curb stomp E.T.
Yep.
Or I said I would have.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
It's getting violent, Kathew.
Not that I want to,
Yeah.
I just said I probably would have if I found him in the woods.
That's the kind of person Kendra.
You don't want to come across Kendra in the woods. She'll curb stomp you.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
She's not friendly.
No. Okay, so we've talked about the famous movie E.T. many a time before.
Many
So
times.
now it's time to bring this beloved movie into the world of Mandela Effects. So, do you remember the scene where E.T. like starts talking and like he's saying some phrases and he's like pointing to the phone?
E.T. phone home.
See? Okay. So which one is it? Is it E.T. phone home or E.T. home phone?
My parents have a home phone. He said phone home.
E.T. home phone.
He said
That doesn't make any sense.
I'll
That's
just
what he said.
Everyone quotes E.T. phone home.
Yep, but
Yes.
I have a clip too. I'll link it in the description for you guys if you want to check it out. But yeah, so he actually says E.T. home phone.
Well, he's an alien, like an actual alien.
Yeah.
And he speaks like Yoda. No, but then the kids say back, E.T. phone home, don't they? So like that's
No, I'm pretty
Is
sure
that-
when I watched it, they said home phone.
the kids did too?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. We can watch it right now and just like
I don't want to see that ding
okay.
dong.
But yeah, Wanderers, if you guys want to check it out, I'll leave all the clips and stuff that I found. I'll put them in the description so you guys can check out and decide for yourselves if it's a Mandela effect or just people remembering things wrong and converting them into better grammar.
I think E.T. is starting to become my arch nemesis.
Really?
It sounds like it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I
Sounds
mean,
like
you said
E.T.
you wanted
and
to
I have
curb
a-
stomp them, so I mean, that kind of...
I
That's
don't
the tone.
want to. I think I would have if I found him in the woods, being all creepy and stuff.
Okay, fair enough, okay.
Wouldn't you be afraid of like the rest of them coming for you?
What?
But they're like fat little toad people with long necks. Like I'm not scared of that.
But like you don't know what they can do.
Fair.
His like weird hot dog finger like glows. Like that's all.
Yes, but I'm saying if you were approached by a creature like that in the woods,
Mhm.
would you know what it was and what it could do? No, I'd just book it out of there.
You bolt.
Yeah, bolt probably.
You run. You
Kendra
act
would-
like you never saw it.
Kendra would slap it and run away.
Yeah, I'd slap.
You can slap his little chubby cheeks and run away.
It does. Does it have chubby cheeks?
Kind of.
I thought it always looked like a skeleton with skin
Yeah,
stretched
it's
over it.
icky.
Fair, yeah. It kind of has cheeks. They're very small, but...
I'd kick it in its pot
Barely.
belly and I'd run.
Okay, next one. So next one is from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So the Evil Queen's Mirror. You've probably seen Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. If so, what is the phrase that the Evil Queen says to her magic mirror to ask it a question? Is it mirror, mirror on the wall? Who is the fairest of them all? Or is it magic mirror on the wall? Who is the fairest of them all?
It's magic mirror.
Mm-hmm.
See, I remembered mirror, mirror.
But like that's like an iconic, like this is like it's like
It's
an
very
iconic
iconic.
scene.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been like redubbed like over and over and over and
Well, that's the
over
thing.
again because this is such
Yeah.
an old movie.
These classic movies have been edited and redone. A lot of Disney
Oh,
movies are
yeah.
edited and redone
Yeah.
for different areas of
Yeah.
the world
That's
too.
true.
And so when they do remaster them because they deteriorate. And so it's very possible there are two existing versions that have two very different sayings. But the Snow White story is also older than Disney,
Mhm.
and there are very many different stories that have different ways that the queen addresses this entity.
True. And there is actually a lot of Disney like licensed merch. I have a picture of a cup from Burger King that has the mirror mirror quote on there. Hey, that was the only one I could find. Okay, Burger King, yeah. So you used to have collector's cups like McDonald's did. That like actually says mirror mirror on the wall. So there's like it's either one, yeah.
Yeah, no.
I don't know. Maybe it is just like a different country's like version. I don't know.
I think it's also just different versions. People who read a lot of different old-time fairy tale stuff, there's so many different ways that the queen addresses things, too.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't go that deep into the lore of Snow White.
There's more than just the two of those. Yeah. I was a huge fairy tale
I know.
nerd when I was growing up. So
You still
read all... I am.
Be proud
I've
of it.
read so many different versions of all the classic fairy tales, and I have a really thick book of all the Grimm's original fairy tales.
Oh shit!
Holy shit, those things are dark.
Very scary. That's like
so
our next
blood,
Halloween
so much
thing.
Ugh.
Yeah. Also, like mirror.
They're not happy.
No one. They're not happy.
None
It's
of them
like
are
real.
happy.
No, it's like real, icky. Like they're for adults, aren't they? For like more adults.
Rapunzel ends up a single mother in the desert without her eyesight.
Yep.
That's cool.
No, it's not.
Yeah, she has twins, and then she has like.
Don't tell me. Don't spoil it.
Yeah, she falls on thorns.
Yeah.
Oh, ew. Okay.
It's in Into the Woods too. That musical. If you listen to that or watch it, it's like all the Grimm's versions.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. But like also, like E.T. Phone Home is more marketable than for like stuff like merch than E.T. Home Phone. And the same thing with like Mirror Mirror on the Wall is like more marketable than Magic Mirror on the Wall because it's like I think it is.
I don't know.
But it's like it's like in like it's kind of like a song, you know, like a song will have like more repetition is like more like pleasant to our ears.
Magic Mirror.
It is, but I don't know. I think Mirror Mirror is better than Magic Mirror. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But I also think, wasn't there a movie called Mirror Mirror that had like that actress had Julia Roberts and then Phil Collins' daughter from that Emily in Paris TV show on Netflix. It had her in it too, and it was called Mirror Mirror.
I liked that movie. That was fun.
Yeah, it was a fun movie. I watch anything with Julia Roberts.
Yeah, that was a fun movie.
Yeah, Mirror Mirror.
All right, should we get into some food Mandela effects?
Oh, let's do it. Let's see if I flip a table.
Okay, sounds good. So the first one we talked about last time, and I'm going to see if Kendra remembers it.
Oh god. That's like not. The worst. That's like the worst sentence. Let's see if Kendra remembers it.
I love this game.
I love this game.
No. Okay. I'm debating getting my wedding anniversary tattooed on my body so I remember it.
Oh.
Don't.
Kendra.
Don't you dare.
Kathew's scolding a cat.
She's not scolding me. She's scolding a cat.
Yeah, a cat. Oh, church. Uh-oh.
He's so, like, long.
You're naughty.
Oh.
But he might be.
He knows he's naughty.
Okay. All right, so the first one we have is the beloved bologna brand, Oscar Mayer.
Beloved?
It's the most popular bologna brand here in the U.S.
Can you
name
another one?
Bologna.
See, it's like, can you name another bologna brand?
No, that's why this is the most beloved one.
So that's why this is beloved, because it's like automatically like the only one you can name.
Yeah.
Okay, what about it?
Okay, so you know the jingle, my bologna has a first name, it's Oscar. However, when spelling out your bologna's second name, it's under scrutiny. So if you
they have a jingle.
Oh,
they do?
There's like an old timey jingle. My mom sang it to me, and she remembers it one way. Okay, so it's either there's Oscar and there's Meyer. So it's either Meyer or Mayer.
It's
not
Mayer.
It's
like
Meyer.
with an E.
Yeah, Meyer.
Yeah.
So which one are you saying? So Kendra's saying E. What are you saying, Kathew?
E. Meyer.
E. Well,
Oscar Meyer.
Yeah. Wieners.
It's Mayer.
It's A.
Mayer.
It's
it's not A.
Like John
Mayer. That sounds stupid.
See, that's what my mom thought it was
Meyer.
Y-E-R as well. When she sings it, she sings it with an E, but it's actually A.
Did they change it?
Not to my knowledge. And if they did without, like, they don't acknowledge that they did.
It seems more marketable to be with an A, isn't it?
Why?
It's with an E, I swear, right?
Well, I think it's another one of those things where like when you're speaking, it sounds better
Easier.
to the ear, or we start to
Mayor.
slur the letters
Yeah.
into Meyer.
Well, the thing
like
too,
it takes too much enunciation to say Mayer.
Yeah.
It's easier and lazier to say Meyer.
well, the
Knowing
thing too, though,
me, I would do it the A, be like mayor. Yeah.
yeah. So the thing though too is like there was a jingle like way back, like probably 30 years ago. There was a jingle, and it was what my mom remembers it being was M-E-Y-E-R. So that's
But
a jingle
is it-
that most people remember, but it's M-A-Y-E-R. So
They changed it. Do you like the New York Yankees are just gaslighting?
I think they're gaslighting.
They're gaslighting.
I'm just
Dang
gonna
it,
say
Oscar.
that, yeah.
Yep,
They gaslighting.
they gaslit you.
Mhm,
Okay, so the next one is a delicious fruity cereal.
Oh, I love them.
Fruit
I
Loops.
can't have them.
Yeah, not anymore.
Uh-huh.
So what's
I will find a way to make gluten-free Fruit Loops just for you.
I would like that. Right now, I just do the what's the Frosted Flakes?
Those are good.
Are those gluten-free?
It's made out of moldy ass corn. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
I love
what a-
Kendra's
You can have Rice Krispies too.
Yep.
Oh, what if we made Fruit Loops out of Rice Krispie?
Yeah.
Or
I
just
wonder
out
if
of
those
rice
elves
flour.
would. Those wouldn't. Yeah, would just do a rice flour. I'd like that.
Mhm.
I think they do make that.
I haven't seen it, but then again, I haven't looked because that tiger calls to me when I'm in the cereal aisle.
Fair.
My future mother-in-law likes the finest things in life, and she has a friend who's gluten-free, and so she just gave me a bag of the nicest gluten-free flour that there is, and she's like, you could make this for your friend. Whatever she
Ooh.
wants. And
What are you
so
gonna make
you-
me?
I don't know. You have to tell me. What is something you haven't had to got to have in a long time?
Fruit Loops.
I haven't had.
I don't know how to make.
Shut up, I like Fruit Loops.
I just found, I googled it, and I found the first one popped up, a gluten-free Fruit Loops recipe, so bam, and I sent it to you.
Nah.
Well,
Oh,
Nah.
well, now we're not
What-
excited
what do
about
you-
Fruit Loops.
I like
Well,
like a nice like a nice hot bun with butter. I can't have those Texas Roadhouse buns.
Oh.
I'm jealous. Mr. Kender eats like a basket of them by himself, and I just
like
sit there and I
honey
watch.
butter.
Yeah,
A honey butter bun is what you want.
I haven't had that. Yeah,
All
that
right.
would be good.
Okay, let's get back to Fruit Loops.
A croissant.
Okay.
So Fruit Loops, is it F-R-U-I-T, like regular fruit? Or is it
No,
F-R-O-O-T?
it's
It's
a
O-O.
O. It's like ooh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, you
It
guys are
makes
right.
kids
Like-
dumb. Yeah,
Like the cereals. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's like the cereal shape.
Yep. Yeah, so a lot of people remember it being fruit, like the actual spelling of fruit, but
Oh.
F-R-U-I-T, but
No.
it's the
I
F-R-O-O-T.
remember that because they would put the little cereals in place of it.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so this one makes more sense because like I can see where you get mistaken because you're saying fruit, like
Yes,
normal
right.
fruit,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
makes sense.
It's
Play
different.
on words. Yeah, play on
Mhm.
words of the word fruit. Yeah.
And then the last one I have for the food category is double stuffed Oreos. So is
Okay.
double stuff spelled with one F or two?
I have no idea.
I have
I
no clue.
I have
don't
no
buy those.
say one way or the other. What do you remember, Katrina?
I don't buy them either, but I thought it was two.
Is it just the one?
Okay.
It must be
It's just
one.
the
of those.
one. It's just the one F.
Just to be like hee hee.
Yeah, funny. Like,
Yeah.
yep. So again, it could be another one that's like made to be, people remember it as, because stuff is spelled S-T-U-F-F,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
but it's just one. So it's probably like that kind of a thing.
Somebody was like, it's more marketable just to have the one F.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. But
Doesn't
sure,
make
why
sense, but
not?
sure. Yeah.
Alrighty. So now we're going into kind of like a history.
Oh boy.
This one might intrigue Kendra a little bit more.
Oh
So the first
boy.
one we have is the Ford logo. So this one was
They
made.
have had so many, like,
They have.
they've had so many.
They have. But there's like some things that have stayed the same. So the thing that they're kind of looking at here, if you Google like Ford logo Mandela Effect,
Mhm.
basically it pertains around the F in the logo. So some people remember it having a little curlicue, kind of like how Dairy Queen puts on top of their ice cream cones
Yes.
in the F. But some people remember it
Oh.
without that.
Why would it have a curly Q?
Exactly. Well, so like
That
they
doesn't make.
originally it was based off of Ford, the actual inventor, like the creator. of
Henry Ford.
Yeah, Henry Ford, his signature.
Oh, okay.
So that's what the logo is based off of.
It has the curly Q though. I know it does.
Okay, what do you think, Kathew?
No.
It has the hat. No, I'm saying like it has had it for like
Ever?
almost 100 years.
Yeah.
The curlicue.
Yeah.
I know it.
Right.
I'll bet. I was like, I'm gonna bet
right.
like.
Kendra was about to fight someone.
Yeah, I was like, it's like this champagne flute's gonna have a lot of jags on it because I'm gonna break it. Yeah, bash.
Yeah, so there's this guy that I found this video on YouTube. If you want to check it out, again, I'll leave it in the description. But he was going around asking mechanics about it, and they don't remember the curlicue, and I didn't either.
It's always had it. I used to have a It's from a Model T. I got rid of it. I think I got rid of it. It was an original. It was a battery, a car battery.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I got rid of it because it was like acidic and broke down and was sketchy.
Yeah,
but I had it because they used to be made in it was encased in solid wood.
Oh,
and they had the branding, the Ford logo branding on it.
Ooh.
It is from the 20s, and it has the curlicue.
Huh.
Okay,
David.
So it has always had, from what I mean, I think like the original like first 2 or 3 Ford Motor Company logos were just like they weren't. It was just like basic like sans serif font.
Yeah,
it just said Ford. But then when they changed it, from my knowledge, it's always had the curlicue.
Yeah, so
David,
like, starting from like the 1912 logo, that's when they added the curlicue to the F. Yeah, and it's always had that since then. See, I didn't remember that curlicue on it, and I have a Ford, so that's just saying something.
The Ford logo. Does the Ford logo have a curlicue on the F, or does it straight across?
Kathew's testing her fiance.
Mm-hmm. What does he say?
Mandela effect.
Oh, okay.
No cheating.
Don't cheat.
Go show him the slide that shows the answer, Kathew.
Fine.
Does it have a curlicue or not?
Got a curlicue on the bottom, but on the top it's straight.
No, it's a curlicue. Now he's gonna go run out into the...
Now he's gonna go do like a bunch of research on the history of the Ford logo.
Heck yeah.
Wait, which side of it? Are we talking where it goes across?
Here.
It's the like not the top of the F, but like the middle of the F.
Oh, it's there?
Yeah.
I don't think he can hear you,
Okay,
Kendra.
no, yeah, I thought we were talking about that.
Well, it's just like when I watch movies too. When I'll be like, "Don't go in there." I told you. Did you hear me?
Okay, what did he say, Kathew?
He said straight across.
Okay,
No,
so he was.
it's
Yeah.
always had the cue.
So I think Kendra's from a parallel universe. I'm just saying.
And well, I'm glad she crossed into our universe so we could have her.
Yeah.
It's always had it. I don't have my battery anymore. I got rid of it because acid. But
acid.
Oh, I love how Kendra leaned over to me during a movie and was like, "Am I on acid?"
What?
I don't remember what that sounds like something I'd say.
I'm sorry.
We went to see Moana was playing the movie, the free movie night, and we're sitting watching it, and then the big kraken, the
crab comes out.
The crab comes on and does his bit, and Kendra leans over and she goes, "Are they on crack? Am I on crack?"
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Okay, that movie is it's okay, but like it's not good. I don't know.
It just
was like
mismatched.
It's just too disjointed. I don't know.
Yeah,
and the fact that now they're going to make a live action version of it is insane to me.
Yeah. Well, they're live actioning all of them. So
I'm so tired of the live action remakes. I want something new.
They don't have it.
I know.
They're fresh out of that.
I'm so excited for the Barbie movie, though.
I am too. I'm interested in what the heck they're going to do.
It's definitely a social commentary movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's that Greta Gerwig, and that's what she does.
So I'm excited for it.
I don't like who they picked to play Ken.
Oh, come on. He's perfect for Ken.
No, he's not that handsome. He looks like Ellen.
He's just Ken. He doesn't have to be anything. He's just Ken.
Well, if it's just Ken, I want to see Zac Efron.
No, Zac Efron did some weird stuff to his face.
No, he said that. He said, okay, he did break his jaw or whatever, so we had to have it like wired shut. And he said that, like, the exercises or whatever that they had him do for physical therapy, like, made his, like, jaw muscles grow. So it sounds crazy to say out loud, but I think that's what happened.
Yes, it does sound
If you have
crazy.
to, like, reset your jaw and it's broken and stuff, like, it's not gonna look the way it did, right?
No. Oh, hi, Baz.
Hi, Bass.
Hmm?
It's the cat.
Yeah.
It's the very fat cat.
Kathew's fat cat.
It's a very fat, cantankerous cat. But in my opinion, Zac Efron would have been a better Ken than Ryan Gosling, who looks like Ellen.
Should we move on to King Henry VIII?
Yes. Let's go.
Okay, so this is talking about a very famous portrait of him. Okay, so while King Henry VIII is remembered mostly nowadays for having 6 different wives over the course of his reign, some people also remember seeing a formal portrait of him holding a giant turkey leg.
What?
Apparently this is a thing. So the portrait in question was created by Hans Holbein the Younger in 1540. However, there was never a turkey leg included in the original artwork. Nor
Yeah.
has there ever been one added.
Yeah.
So King Henry was a very large man, and it is said that he is the first king to have ever eaten a turkey. So there may be a small connection there, like maybe word of mouth kind of truth there. But the only other explanation is that there have been portrayals of the king voraciously eating a big turkey leg on film and in cartoon. So, but apparently there's like this famous portrait. Like if you Google King Henry VIII portrait, like turkey leg portrait, it won't actually feature a turkey leg, but you'll know about the portrait that we're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently that's the thing that people remember. He is holding like a little scroll or like a croissant or something. But
I think it's his gloves.
Is that
writing gloves, probably.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. He has like a dagger and then something else in the other hand. So
yeah, pretty sure I went over this in one of my classes to get a minor in art history, but
if anyone would know, it would be Kendra.
I don't remember. Put this one in here. We went over this, but I don't remember us being like, he has a turkey leg.
He's a turkey leg. Okay. Fair enough. Alright, so we're going to the last one for the history. The JFK car assassination photos. Okay, so even if you're too young to remember the tragedy in real time,
everybody that listens.
Yeah, basically, yeah. You've probably seen footage of JFK's assassination in history classes. We saw so many of them, it's kind of burned into my memory.
I've seen so much of it in the dark. I'm laying in bed.
Why is this what you watch when you sleep?
Because I don't know, I get like those obsessions over like little like things for like months on end, and then I move on to the next one. And then mine was like the JFK assassination, so I've watched the Zapruder film like over and over and over and over again, and like those weird documentaries about stuff. And then yeah,
interesting. Okay. So there is a common memory that there were only 4 passengers in the car, when in fact there were 6. These included the driver, the 2 Secret Service agents, Texas governor at the time, John Connally, and his wife, Natalie Connally, plus the president, Kennedy, and his first lady, Jackie. So for some reason, people don't remember there being 6 people. I remember being 6 because there was like the governor and like, you know, the driver or whatever. But one possible answer for this Mandela effect could be that the angles from which the photos or videos of the assassination were taken were like the front passengers obscured the governor and his wife. That could be where it is, but I remember like hearing that the governor turned around when it happened and was like trying to help Jackie or whatever, or like had like a weird face when this happened. Yeah, so do you guys remember like the 4 or 6 people?
It's the 6, but then like if you watch the video, don't they all like a bunch of them like jump out?
I haven't seen it in a while.
It's nasty.
That's why I don't watch it when I sleep. So
I've never had a nightmare about that, just so
that's
everyone
good.
knows.
Very good. But I remember like the governor, he like turned around and was like shocked, basically. Well, obviously. So I mean,
because his head's because the president's head is like
open.
Skull is like
nasty. Okay, now we move on to our last Mandela effect for today.
The CIA did it.
It's about a color.
Ooh.
Yes, Kathew. Ooh.
Yes, please. Color.
Like that.
Okay. So when you think of chartreuse, the color chartreuse, what do you think of?
Okay. I have two different answers here.
Okay.
Ooh.
I remember a TV show when I was little when when they were talking about chartreuse. It was this terrible green color.
Okay.
But I, as an intellectual, know chartreuse is actually supposed to be more of a pinkish red color.
Okay.
And
Kendra,
she's
what's
a
your
painter.
answer?
I'm going with Kathew because she's a painter. So
Okay. So I did a little bit of research, read a couple things about chartreuse, and there's been a lot of misconceptions. So the main like when people think of chartreuse, so again, like it's like either a maroon, like a maroonish color, like an
that was
acid
pink.
green, or pink. Yeah, so it's either maroon, pink, or acid green.
Mhm.
Those are the three that people think of. It is in fact acid green.
What? Oh, really?
It is. It's what chartreuse is. So I found an article written by Kelly Keller from the Paris Review, and she says, I really adore the other chartreuse, the imaginary one, the one that sounds right but isn't. You know, that maroony red that looks like wine, dark and sweet. I long thought that chartreuse was two colors, one red and one green, but it's not. Chartreuse refers to only the acidic green. There was never a red chartreuse. For whatever reason... For whatever
But what
reason,
is it exactly?
Right.
it's acid green.
It's
But
acid green.
so the chartreuse refers to what? Like that's what it means?
That's the
Is it
color.
acid green?
Yeah, that's the color that it means, yeah. So she also says, but for whatever reason, hordes of people hold dear to their memories of this alternate color. For some, it's near to magenta. For others, it's a brick red. But it is, in fact, an acidish green.
Ew.
Yep.
I wonder why is it named chartreuse?
I don't know.
Yeah, chartreuse sounds like a terrible...
It sounds pretty.
No, it sounds ugly.
I almost thought it sounded pretty.
Chartreuse sounds like a terrible, ugly thing.
No.
Oh,
No way. It sounds
Chartreuse.
no. No, not that. It's like, oh, chartreuse.
No,
It's
no.
not chartreuse.
Goodness, okay.
Chartreuse.
Okay, so I found out
Pretty.
the origin of the name.
Yeah, what is it?
So chartreuse was named after a greenish yellow French liqueur made by early Carthusian monks. Carthusian.
Chartreuse, whatever, however you
Yeah.
said that. Chartreuse monks. Okay.
Yep, in the early 1600s.
Don't I have that liqueur?
Go check.
Do you? Is it tasty?
No, it's the one that. Where the hell is it? It's the nasty one that makes you see spirits. Supposedly, it's the one where
Isn't
it's
it
made
absinthe?
of the. Oh yeah, it's absinthe. Never mind.
Okay, yeah.
It's the one made of wormwood.
Yeah, no.
I like absinthe.
Well, you probably do it with a sugar cube, right?
Well, sure.
Do you just drink it straight, Cashew?
Well, not on a regular basis. What are you
Cashew's going
taking
hard
me
over
for?
here.
Kathew, you're
taking
supposed
me
to
for?
do the whole like little BS thing with the fancy spoon with the sugar cube.
Well, yeah. Well,
Are you just swigging things to see spirits? What are you doing from the bottle? You just drinking it from the bottle?
wait, I got my words mixed up.
Sorry, that was the rest of my champagne. I know it sounded like potty, but it wasn't.
It really did. Yeah. No. I got my words mixed up. Absinthe I heard in a TV show. I like Jaeger.
Okay,
Like
that makes sense.
Jägermeister?
It's tasty. Yeah.
Kathy's a college student at heart, for sure.
Kathew was an old Kathew's an old man. I don't know.
It tastes like root beer to me.
Oh, I hate root beer.
I
I
can
hate
kind of
root
see
beer.
why.
That's my favorite drink.
That's all they're serving at the wedding is
You can have all of it. I'll just, yeah. You could take all of it. I don't like root beer.
No, we're serving gourmet hard cider. So
Oh, fancy.
and root beer.
Just root beer.
no,
No water,
Jaeger.
just root
We're
beer.
doing Jaeger bombs.
Jaeger. Yeah, those are tasty. I love those. Jaeger bomb.
Class.
Class.
Do we want to get into our cryptid of the day?
Oh
Yeah.
shit, yeah.
All right.
Oh, I have four, sorry.
Oh, so first, before we get into our cryptid, our last segment for the day, I'm going to go over some resources for the Mandela Effects. So I use the Skeptical Inquirer, Parade.com, ScienceOfPeople.com, Dictionary.org, Fiona Brome's website. She actually has some information on Mandela Effects herself. So GoodHousekeeping.com, DebunkingMandelaEffects.com, Reader's Digest, and theParisReview.org.
Okay, I like that the Fiona lady didn't want to be wrong so bad that she was like, "No, I can't be wrong. See?" Like, and then she came
has
up
her
with
own
Mandela.
website.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she came up with like Mandela Effects to like gaslight everyone.
Well, I mean, I guess I can see her point. Like, I do remember hearing that he died in
Yeah.
prison. So
Oh,
that's like
okay.
the weird part. So I do get her point. Like that one's very vivid in my memory. But there's other ones, like a lot of the food ones.
Mm-hmm. The Fruit of the Loom one. I will die on this hill.
Oh yeah.
It's a
Yep.
cornucopia, yeah.
Yep.
So it's kind of because I don't think any of those companies, if they did change it, are ever going to say if they did or not. So it's
Yeah.
hard to prove.
Well, isn't there that Peanuts one that has the monocle on that Peanuts brand?
I think he
Oh,
still does.
Mr. Peanut?
He still does, right?
There was a Mandela effect of whether or not he had a monocle.
I think he still
He has
does.
a monocle, right?
Same with the Monopoly Man.
He doesn't.
He doesn't. I thought he did, but he doesn't.
Doesn't. He just has a mustache.
Let's see. Yeah, he still has a monocle, the Peanut.
Okay.
Did he have the monocle when he was the baby Peanut for that Super Bowl commercial?
No.
Okay. Maybe
Not in
that's
this
what it
little
was.
clip, no.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe that's what it
Definitely
was.
he did. His mascot suits have him too. He looks very dapper. Okay.
All right, what's your cryptid?
Let's go into the cryptid for the day. So we round out with the Batsquatch. Like,
Rachel!
What?
The Batsquatch. It's
not a Sasquatch.
Batman had made love to a Sasquatch.
Yeah, yep.
Oh boy.
And it was born from a volcano.
Oh boy.
Mount St. Helens.
Okay.
St. Helens. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to be like reading a paraphrased article from the portlandghosts.com.
Reputable source.
Yes. So, okay, here we go. Woo. So imagine yourself in 1980 in Washington State, enjoying your cup of gorgeous coffee when all of a sudden, kaboom! Everything goes kettle up. Up is down, down is sideways, and Mother Earth hugs the toilet room of existence like a bachelor post-party pre-wedding and the whammy of all hangovers. This is why I chose this article. It's pretty great. Okay, so Mount St. Helens has gone nuclear. The Earth stands still, and from the wreckage from the dead zone, after the terrible noise, in that horrid landscape of ash, death, and silence, something wicked stirred. The mountain was tucking itself back to sleep, letting the Morpheus take her away, but that something demonic would not follow its example. Nothing would have stood at the onslaught unleashed by St. Helens that morning, at least not human. On the fringes of that desolate plain, the Batsquatch screeched its wings and roared.
Rachel!
Just imagine that's what it was. Rachel! It's the highest pitched thing you could hear. Alright, so the Batsquatch is a huge flying cryptid / monster / great microbrewed IPA. Pretty good.
In Washington?
Yeah,
Probably.
it's an IPA. You could Google it, you could buy it. The Batsquatch was apparently sighted near Mount St. Helens right after the 1980 eruption. The creature is similar to the ahul or orangutan of South Asia, a primate with the distinction of leathery bat wings. So it's a creature that's been seen in a couple continents. So whatever it is, shares a great deal of commonality with the legendary Mothman of Virginia, which we talked about quite a while ago.
Mm-hmm. Good episode.
It was a very good episode.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kathew. So we'll
Of course I listen to them all. Well, all of them that don't have me in it.
Okay. You should listen to this one, though. It's
They're
pretty long
good.
and great. It's pretty great. Okay. So stories of the creature abound, particularly in the aftermath of that hectic, world-shaking volcanic event. Its status has shifted over the years from a supernatural event to a folkloric manifestation of Washington's collective consciousness. That's a mouthful of words.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Loveland Frogman or the Jersey Devil, Batsquatch has been adopted by the natives and has become kind of an icon of this area. A mascot that is even featured on the label of one of the region's most popular beers. It's an IPA.
I had no idea.
So is it more Bigfoot with wings?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it is, yeah. Just think of Bigfoot, but instead of arms, it has wings.
We just needed some other flavors.
Mhm.
Yep. They ran out of ideas.
Yeah.
You got there's like Skunk Man, you got Sasquatch, you got Bigfoot, you got Grass Man, you got Batsquatch.
What's the one from Florida?
Isn't it the Skunk Ape?
Yes, thank
Yeah.
you.
Oh,
I forgot. Yep.
Have you guys done the Wendigo yet?
Oh, I'm not doing that one. That one
Katrina
can
doesn't want to do that one. She's scared.
You two could do that
But
one.
that's
I'm
native.
outie.
It's a native one to this
I'm
land.
outie.
I know. I
Nope.
want to do that one, but she don't want to do it.
If you want to edit it, Kendra, go ahead. But I'm not speaking that name because you could get cursed, and I'm not having that thing outside my door.
Katrina's like, don't you put that evil on me.
Nope, I'm done. There's a couple things like flesh pedestrians, not saying it.
She can't. We won't say it because the episode, the system, like this podcast system, crashed like 3 times in a row.
When we said it, it literally crashed every time we said the actual name for flesh pedestrians.
I even rhymed it with the actual word, and it still crashed. It was creepy.
So wait, so flesh pedestrian isn't the right word?
No,
but I'm not saying
What's
it.
the right word?
Imagination.
No, it's pin flocker cranch.
That's like a rhyming for it, yeah.
Yeah.
So think of like a popular ranch with a lot of paranormal stuff that goes on. There's a lot of documentaries around it.
Lots of documentaries around it. There's a TV show on it right now that Mr. Kendra is watching, and
what's the TV show called?
It's literally called
The
name. I think.
So
it's really. I don't know. It's really the TV show is really dumb. They have a security guard that's nicknamed Dragon, and he wants him. That's what he wants you to call him, Dragon.
Okay.
It's really funny. I'll just pull it up. It's just that one.
I just think it's funny.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah, those are freaky.
Yeah.
I know we're
Pin flocker cranch.
Yeah, I just think it's funny that my cousins had a wolfhound. Not a wolfhound, but a mix between a wolf and a husky, and they named her Wendigo.
No.
Biggest fucking baby in the world. She cried if you left her outside.
Oh, that's kind of funny.
She would circle you if you crossed the road because she didn't want you to get hit by a car.
That's cute.
That's cute.
She
Instead of a demonic.
Yeah. The name and the personality didn't match up at all. My mother would tell me about how she had to dog sit that big baby and how she'd cry all night.
Oh, dang. Oh, it is his name. It's like I get haunted in my dreams by these creatures now. Thanks, Mom and Dad.
She was part wolf. She was a
my
big
ancestors come from the
baby.
same forest says those things. Don't call me that.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, let's get back to the Batsquatch.
Oh yeah.
Batsquatch. Okay.
Rigel.
So the Batsquatch awakened from its dormant hibernation when the Washington State's natural icon, Mount St. Helens, got a bit of indigestion.
It blew its top off.
Yeah, it literally did.
Yep.
So equivalent of 1,600 times the size of the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima during World War II. Indigestion.
Oh my gosh.
So as far as wake-up calls go, 24 megatons of thermal energy was a doozy, to say the least. The Batsquatch woke up grumpy, and it would be the underselling of the amount of, quote, I hate Mondays venom the thing was spewing. So Mount St. Helens had remained dormant for almost 140 years. This last period of activity occurred between the 1840s and the 1850s. That long slumber was uninterrupted until March 1980. On March 27th, 1980, a series of volcanic explosions and pyroclastic flows began shaking and rattling the area of Mount St. Helens in Skamania County in Washington, the U.S. From below, everyone stared in disbelief and amazement as the telltale signs of something fishy was going on, while the were visible from the summit of the volcano. A series of blasts smacked the region into a panic on May 18th, 1980. By the time everyone got their heads on straight, Mordor had erupted. A huge explosive cataclysm, the type Michael Bay couldn't get enough of, linked into the sky and blotted out the sun. The eruption had a volcanic explosivity index of 5. It's the most significant to occur in the States since a much smaller in 1915 eruption of the Lassen Peak in California. So it is the most disastrous volcanic eruption in U.S. history, and the aftermath wasn't a picnic either. The eruption was followed up by a 2-month series of earthquakes and steam venting episodes. So plumes of toxic fumes and cascading magma fractured the landscape and even created a huge bulge and break on the mountain's north slope. So the event was an atomic groin punch For years, the region couldn't get back on its feet, and the federal government was feeling the blowback of helping out and shelling out relief aid. Jimmy Carter's political career was never recovered, and to a degree, his approval ratings suffered from this calamity. So approximately 57 people were killed during the blast, and then more than 200 houses, 47 bridges, and 15 miles of railways, and 185 miles of highway were erased from the face of the earth in the blink of an eye. Everything's just gone. Toxicity.
Batsquatch was born.
He was born in a massive way. So toxicity and leftover ash from the blast might have been responsible for countless other deaths throughout the years. It's like different cancers and respiratory illnesses and stuff. So when the US President Jimmy Carter surveyed the damage, he declared that the zone looked as desolate as the moonscape photos from NASA missions. All right, so how does a Batsquatch look? So the Batsquatch is said to have a large humanoid monstrosity clocking in more than 9 feet tall and weigh more than 2 grown grizzly bears.
Damn.
The creature is said to have piercing yellow eyes, blue-tinged dark fur, razor-sharp teeth, a wolf-like muzzle, bird-like wings, or bat-like wings more so, and a broad muscle-bound torso, and his wings would span up to about 50 feet.
Jeez.
Huge. The beast is also said to have psychic abilities, telekinetic powers, allow it to affect man-made objects like car engines, radios, and television sets. Kind of like Mothman.
Sort of like Tom Cruise.
What?
Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is at like the level in Scientology where he has like psychic and telekinetic abilities.
Okay.
Like Batsquatch and Mothman.
So is he Batsquatch? He's just shrunk down into a human form?
No, Tom Cruise is like 5'5". He has to stand in an apple crate. No.
So nothing like Batsquatch.
No.
So the first sightings of the monster occurred post St. Helens eruption. They appeared everywhere. Curious folks, rescuers, investigators, or anyone trampling around the blast zone were aware, from word-of-mouth warnings, that something roamed the area. At night, during these few years after the eruption, only the brave and foolish would dare go out to the darkness and try their luck. For years, the Batsquatch was a Washington state legend, a creepy crawler folks would frighten their children with. A legend, a tall tale, folklore, and nothing more. The St. Helens eruption was slipping into the memory banks, the nation was recuperating, and the region was getting back on its feet. So why dwell on the bad? And part of that bad was the Batsquatch. So we're going to go into a couple sightings, like quite a few years after the eruption. So in 1994, in April, Brian Canfield was driving in Washington's Pierce County when his vehicle suddenly stalled. Canfield smacked the thing a bit, got out, and popped the hood. He looked inside when suddenly, blam! Something's landed on top of his car. The vehicle suspension squirmed and buckled. Canfield, the hood blocking his view, swallowed, took a deep breath, and took a quick peek above the metal rim. Scratching his chassis, snarling and looking like it wanted to fight, the Batsquatch stood. It's like 9 feet tall on top of your car.
With like a 50-foot wingspan.
Wingspan, yes.
That's a
like
massive beast.
Yeah. So Canfield ran. So when Canfield got back to town, the back of his shirt was torn, his truck was all scratched, and his nerves were wrecked.
Oh, his nerves?
His nerves. People chalked it up to the man having, quote, one of them nights.
Yeah, I think if a beach that was like the size of 2 grizzly bears put together, like scratched you, it'd definitely murder you.
Yeah, it'd be probably a little bit more than just a scratch.
He might have just seen like a little cat, and the cat might have just scratched him a little bit.
Okay. So there are some other sightings more recently. So in 2009, near Mount Shasta in California, several hikers witnessed a huge creature with leathery wings fly out from a crevice in the mountain. The creature was either the dreaded Batsquatch or a pterodactyl/thunderbird. So that's actually another cryptid that people have said that they've seen is like pterodactyls recently. Which is
That's not a cryptid, that's a prehistoric creature that should be dead.
But like the Native Americans call it like a thunderbird, because I don't know why, but
I think, if I remember correctly, I think it's because like when it flew, it like had the sound of thunder, or like it brought lightning.
It was like Sonic or something. I don't remember.
Something like that, yeah. And then in June 2011, a man was in his yard walking his dog, and the man went to pick up the dog when he saw something flying in the sky. This is a quote from him. "I saw something flying sky. It had bat wings, blue fur, had a face similar to eyes glowing red. It was about 9 feet tall. At the least, after I watched it, it just flew away."
Why does it have blue fur?
I don't know.
Sounds like Sully from Monsters, Inc.
Well, it said like dark blue first, like navy. That's what I'm kind of thinking. It's like,
Okay.
I'm just getting specific here. So on April 14th, 2014, at Archbishop Hoban High School in Akron, Ohio, a class witnessed a giant black mass zoom by the window of their homeroom at flash-like speed. That would creep me out.
Just the Flash.
Just a flash.
It's
Giant
just the
flash.
Flash.
Large
Just a flash.
bird.
Yeah. So the phenomenon gains momentum every summer, particularly in campgrounds, as folks start to tell stories around the fire concerning the fearsome creature. Now we're going to get into some ways kind of connected, people think it's connected to the Mothman. So many parapsychologists and cryptozoologists can't help but point out the incredible similarities between the Batsquatch and Mothman. Both occurred during and after a cataclysmic event. Both cryptids have power to affect man-made objects, and both cryptids have piercing, blazing eyes and huge wings. The main difference, though, is that the Batsquatch seems to be a lot more hostile and aggressive towards people, whereas Mothman just kind of floats around and lands on things. He kind of just like yells at you.
And doesn't Mothman have like red eyes, like red blazing eyes, and then the Batsquatch has like green or yellow
Like
or something?
yellowish, yeah.
Yeah, so it was like 2 different eye colors.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Not the same thing.
I think Batsquatch is a lot bigger too than Mothman is.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
2 grizzly bears with a 50-foot wingspan? What? Are you kidding me?
Yep.
Huge.
So what do you think?
What do I think?
What do you think of it?
I think he's just a ploy to sell IPAs in Washington State.
Yeah.
Fair.
I think
Yeah.
I think every state wants to have a cryptid.
Mm-hmm. We should ask.
The
I don't know.
tourism.
Tourism, yeah.
A Batsquatch!
All right, Wanderers, thank you so much for listening to our 100th episode. We hope you enjoyed this insanely long episode.
Insanely long, but insanely good.
Yes, we hope you enjoy. And if you have any future suggestions for any future podcasts, we'd love to hear from you at fwplisteners@gmail.com.
And as always, new episodes of the FWP are released weekly.
Should be weekly or bi-weekly.
Weekly or bi-weekly from wherever you get your podcast from, including this place that you're listening to right now.
Woo.
And if you'd like, we would really appreciate it if you would consider leaving us a 5-star review. It helps our show grow.
Yes. All right, Wanderers, thank you so much for listening and joining us for our 100th episode. We hope to see you next time.